So I welcome you all into this carving session of mandibular lateral incisor. So let us start with the carving. And as you can see, our armamentarium is ready. As you know, we carve on a larger wax block so that each and every carve, each and every stroke is evident to you. Here we start by marking off the crown and the root by marking out this line which will distinguish and make it easy for us to carve the crown and the root. As you can see the labial aspect, there's not much difference present between the maxillary between the mandibular central incisor and the mandibular lateral incisor. The only difference exists is that lateral incisor is larger in dimension than the central incisor in the mandibular arch. So the crest of curvature, the COCs or the distal and the mesial aspects as were there in the mandibular central incisor are located incisal to the junction of the middle and incisal third. As you saw, the distal aspect. So the COC of the buccal aspect is located on the junction of the middle and the cervical third, and the lingual COC is somewhat located at the junction of the or on the middle of the middle third. So not much is evident to be spoken here because the mandibular central incisor is the only thing which you need to know for carving out the mandibular lateral incisor. As you can see, the occlusal aspect or precisely the incisal aspect is a bit triangular. It is converging towards the lingual side or towards the cingulum. Also do remember that very slight or I will say very minute amount of roundedness is present on the distal aspect if you will see it from the labial and the lingual aspect. So the distal side will look a bit rounded as compared to the mesial side, but it's very slight, almost negligible. So keep that in mind. Now sir is rounding off the line angles so that a more natural look appears onto this particular crown. Also do remember, as we mentioned in the mandibular central incisor, the incisal edge is ahead of the long axis of the tooth by 1 or 2 mm. Now sir is creating the concavity which is present on the lingual aspect. So the lingual fossa. Do remember, like we said in the mandibular central incisor, the concavity would be way too deep in the middle of the lingual fossa, middle third of the lingual fossa. It would be more deep. Keep that in mind. Notice which side of the carver sir is using to round off the line angles, and also somewhat creating a kind of bulk on the buccal aspect, the which is also known as the buccal ridge. Also, if you will notice slightly, sir is providing a kind of a distolingual twist because lateral incisor is the point where the arch starts to bend, and also you can very precisely see the buccal ridge from the incisal aspect. Now sir is demarcating the lingual fossa and the marginal ridges, the distal and the mesial. As you can see, a V-shaped stroke has been provided, and post that sir is removing excess amount of wax within this V-shaped carved design. This will kind of accentuate the marginal ridges and will deepen out the lingual fossa as is evident in the natural tooth. Now we start off with the root as mentioned, and as you can see in this diagram, as we do in various other carvings, what we do is first of all we create a base as has been created. Post that, what we'll do is we'll kind of create a pillar of wax beneath the crown. This pillar of wax should be in line with the contours of the crown. Let us show you. So what sir is doing now is that sir is removing excess amount of wax with a cutter. Obviously you have to do it with a carver because you are using a wax block. And post removal of this excess amount of wax, we would be left with a cuboid of wax beneath the crown, as you can see in the coming step. Also notice that when sir is creating this cuboid of wax, he's also creating this apical convergence, as you can see. So this cuboid of wax that has been created, now we will convert it into a pillar, means a cylindrical kind of a thing which should follow the contours of the tooth. So here you can see the excess amount of wax is being removed as per the contours of the crown. As mentioned in various videos, if you still don't remember that, these videos are being created by our expert Dr. Rahul Hazre, and this is just a voiceover provided on the carvings made by him. So as you can see, this is the roughly designed root. Now what we need to do is a very simple thing. We just need to round off the line angles so that the root appears more and more natural and aesthetic. There you can see the rounding of the line angles, and notice sir is doing it in line with the crown. The strokes are going out till the crown, so you need to be very cautious, otherwise you might end up reducing the dimensions of the already made crown. So these strokes which are going from the apex of the root up till the crown, this helps in creating a kind of continuity between the root and the crown. And post rounding of the line angles, as we are proceeding, you'll get up a very finished effect, a very finished kind of a root which would look more and more quite more natural and aesthetic. Notice small amount of wax is being removed at the junction of the root and crown, which will help in accentuating the crown and the root demarcation. Now finishing strokes are being provided to the entire carving, so that unnecessary strokes which were made or unnecessary lines of the carver which were made on the carvings, they can get erased and a uniform surface of the carving can be achieved. Now cervical line is being drawn, at the junction of the root and the crown, the exact dimensions of which can be compared with velars. You must notice how the cervical line is being made. First, we accentuate it, we mark out the cervical line, and then we carve out a bit of a wax beneath it. We carve a bit of a wax beneath the cervical line, and then kind of fade off the cervical line and again mark it up. This will help us in creating a more naturally looking cervical line. Otherwise, whenever we make a cervical line with the help of a carver, it would get a bit demarcated and giving a very raw look to the carving. A highly polished look is achieved by following this method. Notice how well the cervical line is looking in this particular carving, and finishing strokes are being provided. As you can see, this is the time when you need to provide the finishing touches. You need to see your carving from each and every aspect and provide the necessary adjustments so as to give it a more natural appeal. This is something which comes with practice. You need to understand by your own experiences that what all finishing touches you need to provide so that your carving looks more and more aesthetic and natural, which means that out of 20, your carving is scoring approximately 19 and 18. The developmental groove is being made, as you can notice, as per the instructions given by your teacher, senior resident, or whosoever taught you the carving of a particular tooth. You can create them and simulate them in this particular carving very easily. Now, sir is showing the carving from each and every aspect. Notice it very carefully, the contours, the crest of curvatures, how each and every aspect looks in real in the carving. We'll reduce the brightness. Now we can see it very precisely. That's it for the carving of the mandibular lateral incisor.